revolution? Revolution. The revolution. ¿Qué queremos?
Legalización para más de 11 millones.
¿Y cuándo la queremos?
Ahora.
¿Qué queremos?
Legalización para más de 11 millones.
¿Y cuándo la queremos?
Ahora.
¿Qué queremos?
Legalización para más de 11 millones.
¿Y cuándo la queremos?
Ahora. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Hermano, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Hermano, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Hermano, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Escucha, estamos en la lucha. What do we do when our workers' rights are under attack? What do we do when we're not being treated ethically? This country depends on immigrants. It depends on every single one of us that are here. We're building community, and I want to thank you all for showing up today. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. Don't forget that this country is based on us. We are the power. The time is now. We are who we've been waiting for. We don't have another lifetime to give them to get their shit together. I don't have that kind of time. And I'm tired of the bullshit. So, what do we do when we're under attack? What do we do when our schools are under attack? What do we do when our livelihoods are under attack? What do we do when our grandchildren, our grandchildren, the immigrant community, everyone who's part of this community, the Native community, we need to represent everybody today. We all work very hard. We all work very hard for very little. And it's time we stand up. It's time we say enough is enough. I am so tired of going to work for bullshit, for someone who doesn't even respect me. It is time to unionize. It is time to stand up. Again, we don't have another life. This is the only time, and it is time we leave our children with something better than what we have. It is time that we leave this world a better place. Enough is enough with the bullshit, with the politics. We get it. You're money hungry, but enough is enough.
When we say enough, you say it's enough. 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 Enough.
To tell East Phillip gets what they need, it starts with them in order for the rest of us to grow. Let us not forget that this land is theirs. It is where we come from. It is ours to take back. What are we going to do? Stand up, fight back. 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 When East Phillips is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When the land is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Woo! Environmental racism.
Stop! Stop!
Environmental racism.
Because when you give us environmental racism, what are we going to do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back.
Oh, just trying to tuck the crowd in a bit. Guys, we'll have to tuck in a
Welcome everybody.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what?
Ain't no power.
Power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Say what? Power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Power like the
Power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power
Power
of
of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what?
Hey, Smack!
Power of the people, the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the
All right.
power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power
We're in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're live for this May Day march. And
don't stop. Say
Well, let's see, I
what?
think
Ain't
these
no
people
power
are
like
following
the power of the
Tokyo
people,
Shishoda.
because the power of the people
Bridget
don't
back and
stop.
forth
Say
on
what?
stream. It's really loud.
Power
You
like
can hear
the
me.
power of
Thanks for
people,
joining.
because the power of people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of people, because the power of people don't stop.
Say what? Like the power of people, because the power of people don't stop. Give it up for our youngins, for our youth here today. Standing here on the street with us. This is our future. Y'all are our future. So thank you. And keep chanting, keep doing it, because everything is for you all. Everything we do is for you. So much love for our youth today. Let's give it up for our youngins. Roots! Roots! Roots on the ground! We're here to shut this shit down! Roots! Roots! Roots on the ground! We're here to shut this shit down! Roots! Roots! Roots on the ground! We're here to shut this shit down! Roots! Roots! Roots on the ground! We're here to shut this shit down!
Hey everyone, now that we're stopped, feel free to spread out a little bit. We've got some folks really far in the back that we're hoping can get caught up to us so we can all be real close together and in community. So feel free to take up a little bit more space than you have been.
Thank you everyone so much for coming. We are not done yet. We have a few more very important speakers and some cultural performances we have for you all. Thank you so much for coming to the march. And can everybody hear me, folks in the back? No. Keep coming up then. Our next speaker that we have for you is a voice that many of you have heard at our protests and at our actions, an incredible cultural worker, an incredible voice for our movements. My friend Brandon Tullock is going to come up and share a piece with you all. Mic check, y'all can hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can you make some noise if you can hear me? All right, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm going to do a piece of spoken word for you guys, and that piece is actually set to a song written by Bob Marley. I'm going to sing a little bit of it. I had some music prepared, but I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm just going to sing it. If it don't sound great, it is what it is. But the song is all about class solidarity. It's all about living in this system of capitalism, which is killing and oppressing and holding us all down. And we are all just stuck in this dance. We are all stuck in this dance of the world that capitalism is holding over us. So this piece, I'm going to sing the song, and then when I start speaking, that's my poem. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, okay? The piece is titled The Dance. The title of the song by Bob Marley and the Wailers is titled Them Belly Full, But We Hungry. Let's see if I don't mess up.
Got it. Just
Cost of living gets so high, rich and the poor, they start to cry. And now the weak must get strong. We singing, oh, what a tribulation, please. Them belly full, but we hungry. A hungry mob is an angry mob. The rain will fall, but the dirt is tough. A pot to cook, but the food not enough. We're gonna dance to Jah music, we dance. We're gonna dance to Jah music, we dance. Forget your troubles and dance. Forget your sorrows and dance. Forget your sickness and dance. Forget your weakness and dance. You look past the man who stands outside the store. You say it's their fault that they're sleeping on the floor. You tell your children that it's a choice to be poor, then you go inside and realize you can't afford your groceries anymore. So you're one paycheck away from a notice of eviction. You're picking up extra shifts to help pay for your prescriptions. You're pinching pennies to afford your coffee and alcohol addiction. You're this close to losing the only pot you got to piss in, but you're hungry. So you get your food, and all your money's spent now. And there's none left, so you can't afford to pay your rent now. So you need to realize you're closer to living in a tent now than you are to ever living in a penthouse. The billionaires are the ones who planted the seeds of your behavior. That all be broke now, rich later mindset, it will never be your savior. They taught you that your enemy is your neighbor, all while stealing the sweetest fruits of your labor. So now you can't even eat at the tables that you set. You'd have to hit a jackpot to get yourself out of debt. And just when you think you're as low as the bottom can get, the goal to your GoFundMe doesn't get met. So what you gonna do now? So you thought that you were too good, like it was no way that it could be you, but now you're standing in front of the same store as the man you pretended was see-through, hoping that somebody help you when they seat you. But no, it ain't no handouts, and no, it ain't no redos. See, it don't matter how much you beg, or plead, or pray, asking for just one more chance. The only thing you can do now is forget your troubles and dance. Forget your sorrows and dance. Forget your sickness and dance. Forget your weakness and dance. Them belly full, but we hungry. A hungry mob is an angry mob. Or ain't a farm, but the dirt is tough. A pot to cook, but the food not enough. Rain or fall. A pot to cook. A hungry man is an angry man. A hungry mob is an angry mob. And the more that they continue to hold us down, the more that these elites continue to grow their wealth off of the backs of our exploitation, the angrier we will become, the more organized we will become, and the sooner the revolution will come. Thank you.
Can we get another round of applause for Brandon? Our next speaker is, sorry, my paper was backwards. Whitney, who's a member of the Climate Justice Committee, who's been organizing against the demolition of the roof depot and the environmental justice in East Phillips. This is one of the most important things that is happening in our city right now, so please give a round of applause for Whitney.
Hi, my name is Whitney, and I'm here representing the Climate Justice Committee. From Atlanta Forest to East Palestine, Ohio, environmental disasters are becoming commonplace, occurring with ever-increasing frequency and severity. Corporations tell us that we as individuals can solve climate change by driving less or buying eco-friendly products. This is a distraction, and more than that, it's an outright lie. Who is really causing these climate disasters? Corporations are getting away with murder through ecocide, and government policies are allowing it, all in the name of profits. And who is bearing the brunt of environmental destruction? We rarely see the most poisonous heavy industry in wealthy white neighborhoods. Instead, industry is almost always concentrated in the most working class and BIPOC communities. We can see this in our own city, from North Minneapolis and their struggle against the HERC incinerator to the East Phillips fight against the Hiawatha expansion project. Our own city government thinks it can get away with environmental genocide against BIPOC and working class communities by forcing them to breathe poisoned air and making their children play in toxic soil. But we know that when we fight together, we win. It is because of the powerful solidarity of the East Phillips community and allies that we have come so far in the roof depot struggle. The city recently caved to the people's demands, declaring they always wanted to give the depot back to the community. Bullshit! But we know that it's because we were out in the streets demanding sovereignty for the indigenous, immigrant, working class, and BIPOC communities of East Phillips that the city changed their statement to save face in the public eye. The people are sick and tired of being sacrificed in the name of corporate greed and so-called development. And we need to stand together in solidarity and demand environmental justice for our working class, immigrant, and BIPOC siblings. Nothing the city has recently claimed regarding the roof depot is set in stone. We will not back down from this fight until the community has control over the roof depot. Please join the Climate Justice Committee on May 8th at 5:30. We'll be outside of Fry's house demanding that he give the roof depot property to the people of East Phillips and follow through on his promises. When the air we breathe is under attack, what do we do? When the water we drink is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Thank you.
so much, Whitney. Our next speaker, I'm so excited to introduce because the Minnesota Immigrants Movement has fought so hard with MIRAC and with so many others to pass driver's licenses for all, which we won this year after 20 years of struggle. So it is my big pleasure to introduce Josefina from the Minnesota Immigrants Movement.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Mi nombre es Josefina Flandes. Yo soy mexicana
My name is Josefina Flandes. I am Mexican.
y voy a hablarles de MIM, pero en especial de Jovita.
And I'm going to talk to you today about meme and especially about Jovita.
Todos saben la historia de Jovita, cuando empezó el bill de las licencias, ¿verdad?
So everybody here hopefully knows the story of Jovita and the start of the driver's license bill.
Pero no saben que ella muchas veces se estaba dando por vencida.
But what people don't know is that many times she was ready to be defeated.
Pero nosotros que estábamos atrás de ella,
But those of us that stand behind her,
estábamos empujándola que no dejara. Ella luchó por este bill desde el inicio hasta el final.
we stood behind her and we pushed her from the very beginning of this bill until the very end.
Ella me pidió que hablara de mí, pero no es de mí, es de ella.
She asked me to talk about meme today, but it's not just meme, it's really about her.
Ayer estuve en una reunión en Mankato y una persona se acercó a mí
Yesterday I was in a meeting in Mankato and someone came up to me
y me dijo, oh, te conozco, te he visto con lo de las licencias.
and they said, hey, I know you. I've seen you around with the driver's licenses.
Y entonces me dijo, yo conozco a Jovita.
And then they said, I know Jovita.
Yo la vi cuando ella empezó.
I saw her when she first started.
Y ella decía, nadie cree en mí, nadie creía en ella. Todo el mundo le decía, nadie le va a hacer caso, no va a pasar. Nadie creía en ella.
And at the beginning, she said, you know what? No one believes in me. No one cares. No one believes in this struggle. It's not going to happen.
Y ella le decía, voy a seguir, no importa si nadie me cree, voy a seguir.
And she said, I don't care if people believe in me or not. I'm going to keep going.
Cuando yo ando en la calle, porque yo soy outreach, toco puertas para asegurarme que vamos a tener candidatos que apoyen a la comunidad latina.
And when I'm out in the streets doing outreach, I do door knock. I like to try to make sure that we are going to have candidates that will actually support legislation we need.
Pero cuando veo la cara de esos jóvenes,
But then I see the faces of our youth,
la esperanza de que van a tener una licencia,
the hope that they're going to have a driver's license,
los padres que van a tener una licencia,
that their parents are going to have a driver's license.
no tiene precio.
That does not have a price.
Y lo que quiero decir es que no importa cuál es tu sueño,
And what I want to say today is it doesn't matter what your dream is,
no importa si nadie cree en ti,
and it doesn't matter whether or not people believe in you.
sigue,
Keep going.
sigue, sigue, sigue.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Sigue.
And keep going!
Y una cosa, que chingue su madre la migra.
She's going to make me say bad words.
Ya, porque mi esposo, mi hijo fueron deportados. Entonces, que chingue su madre la migra.
To share, my husband and my son were both deported. So everybody scream with me, fuck ICE!
So I don't think, give it a round of applause for Josephine, please. I don't know if y'all heard, but recently Cub Food Workers FCW 663 just won a historic contract. And they did so because they threatened to strike. So our next two speakers are Sue Sammy and Tiffany. Please give a big round of applause when they come and tell you about the struggle at Cup Foods.
Okay. No, I don't dress up to rallies. I just had another event. Thank you. I don't feel awkward. And I wrote my speech because usually I get very, very emotional if any of you has met me before in a speech. It's loud and not pretty. So I wrote it today. Today we come together to celebrate two fundamental values that are essential to our identity as a union: immigrant rights and labor rights. As we celebrate these values, we also honor the many contributions that immigrant workers have made to our society and to our labor movement, and I'm one of them. We know that our union strength comes from the diversity of its membership. Ever since our founding, we embraced workers of all races, genders, and nationalities. We recognize that all our immigrants, brothers and sisters, face many challenges in the workplace, and we have always stood with them in the fight for better wages, better working conditions, and a voice on the job. We also recognize that our struggle for labor rights is inseparable from the struggle for immigrant rights. The threats of deportation, the intimidation, and the exploitation of immigrants is not acceptable. We must work together to ensure that all workers are treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their immigration status. We believe that all our workers, regardless of their background, deserve fair wages, safe working conditions, and the right to organize and bargain collectively everywhere. These are not just union values. These are human values. And I saw somebody who had this sign, actually. So, today, as we celebrate immigrant rights and labor rights, let us remember the many struggles. Last page, I promise. Of those who came before us, and honor their sacrifices by continuing to fight for a better future. Let us renew our commitment to solidarity and justice, and let us work together to build a more equitable, inclusive America.
Thank you so much. And again, shout out to the Cub workers. Their readiness for a strike led to a great contract. A great reminder that a strike is our greatest weapon against greed and monopoly capitalism. Our next speaker is doing such important work. This city has seen the rash of police violence and police crimes, and too often the media forgets about the people that are most impacted, the families of those killed unjustly by the police. So I am very pleased to welcome our sister, Tashira Galloway Allen, the founder of Families Supporting Families Against Police Violence.
My name is Tashira Garraway, the founder of Families Supporting Families Against Police Violence, working with families that have lost loved ones at the hands of law enforcement here in the state of Minnesota, and providing support as I lost the father of my son, Justin Tigan, who was brutally beat to death here in the state of Minnesota and thrown inside of a trash dumpster by the St. Paul Police August 19, 2009. I'm here to stand in solidarity with you all because when I think about one thing that we talked about the other day, I will reiterate a lot of things that I spoke about the other day, which is some of the same fight that workers had to go through when they were beat and murdered and lynched just for standing up for what they believe. I'm here to stand in solidarity with you guys because you are standing up for what you believe. One thing that I heard in the chants is all of the injustices. When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When trans lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers' lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When women's lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
And that is what it's about. It is about no matter what we look like, no matter what we have or what we don't have, no matter our nationality, no matter our sexual orientation, we deserve to live free as human beings. We deserve to be treated fairly, and we deserve to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. We don't have to lay down. We don't have to be quiet. We don't have to shut up about injustices because we have a duty. We have a duty as human beings to stand up for one another. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to stand up against these injustices. If you see something done wrong to a human being for any reason at all, we have a duty to serve one another. It is only what we do for one another that will last in the end. Money will not last in the end. Materialistic things will not last in the end. It is only how we try to fight and help one another that will last in the end. It is only how we treat one another that will count on our last day, that each and every one of us has a last day, and that's the truth. But on that last day, people will not remember you for what you have or what you don't have. People will only remember you for how you made them feel. People will only remember you for what you stood up for and spoke up for, and what you lived by, and most of all, what your heart consisted of. So I want to thank you all for standing in solidarity with our impacted families, because we need the support. I want to thank you all for being out here to stand up for what you know in your heart is right, for marching down the street, for speaking up, for chanting. It takes strength and it takes courage to do that. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself today for standing up, for marching down the street, for standing up for what you believe and refusing to be quiet. Refusing to be silenced. And I know that we always do this at the end, but I am compelled every single time, because I heard this chant when I first started speaking out about my son's father's story. I was quiet for many years when they did a modern day lynching on the father to my son. And I was quiet about his story because I was afraid for my life. Just as many of the workers can be afraid and don't want to speak out about the injustices that have been done in workplaces. But I was very afraid. And then I started coming out and speaking up and joining rallies and marching with people. And one of the first chants that I ever heard was by a woman named Chantel Allen. And she said, we have a duty to fight for our freedom. Because we have that duty. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains. Think about that, guys. We don't have nothing else to lose when people are trying to oppress us, keep us quiet, shut us up. We have nothing to lose but the chains and the shackles that other human beings, white supremacy, is trying to put on all of us. So, repeat after me. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. 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 All power to the people. Thank you. Thank you for having me today. Injustice done to one of us is an injustice done to all of us. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you,
Yo, please give a hand to Toshira and the critical work of families supporting families against police violence. Our next speaker belongs to the union that makes up the largest union under a single contract in the country. That is the UPS Teamsters. Locally, that is represented by Teamsters 638. Our next speaker is not only a member, but a leader within Minnesota Workers United who fights every day to secure contracts for unions across the city. So please give a warm welcome to Shane Clune. This will make it
Good. All right, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Shane Clune. As they said, I'm a member of Minnesota Workers United. I am a Teamster at UPS where I load in the warehouse. And most importantly, I am a pissed off and fighting member of the working class. All right, now I'm here to talk about our contract and our potential hopeful strike coming up this summer. It's so appropriate to talk about this today, not just because this is an international proletarian holiday, but because the things that we're fighting for at UPS are the same things that people were fighting and dying for, 100, 150 years ago, right? Our boss is pretty used to dealing with the Teamsters, but there's something different this year, right? Our boss has been used to dealing with a union that is comfortable to shake hands with them and pass us a deal that we didn't have any say in. Well, this year they thought things were going to work the same way. Well, that ain't true, right? Because this year the bosses didn't seem to suspect something that Minnesota Workers United stands for and is sweeping the nation, and that is class struggle unionism. The bosses are trying to slow roll negotiations. They want us to handle our local contract issues first. They want all those issues to be done in a way that they call cost neutral. So this is a company that made $100 billion in revenue last year, $13 billion in profit. They made record profits. And I say they, I mean we, because every single cent of that $100 billion that they made, that came from the sweat, the blood, and the tears of Teamsters. And that's not a metaphor, right? That's the sweat that drips off us as we work ourselves into dehydration and heat stroke. That's the blood that we shed when we injure ourselves working on unsafe conditions and trying to handle too much volume. That's the tears that we cry when we miss our entire lives trying to deliver shit so that Carol Tomei can buy another fucking boat. So right now, they think we're bluffing. All right, they're gonna put everything on the table. They're gonna put as much as they want to try to call our bluff. Well, we're ready to take them for everything that they fucking got, because, and we know we can get it done in this city. We know we can get it done around the country because we're fucking fed up. We ran this country during COVID. We make this country work. UPS Teamsters handle 6% of this country's GDP, and if they think that they're gonna get us to walk away and shake hands, they're fucking kidding themselves. When we reach our hands out to them, it is not to shake their hand, it is to grab them by the throat and take what is ours. And I know we're going to hold it down in this city, right? Because if there's one thing we know how to do, it's shut shit down. Just like we did in 1934 when we made this city a union town. Just like we did in 2020 when we took that fucking pig pen that they call the 3rd Precinct and burnt that shit to the ground too. All right, just like the folks in East Phillips are holding down the site so that instead of being poisoned, they can have something useful for their community. Well, guess what, folks, come August 1st, if we don't get a deal that gives us the shit that we made, we're shutting down UPS too. So am I going to see you all in the streets with us when that happens? I'm glad to hear it. Now, I can't go before I make a little plug for Minnesota Workers United. So I want you all to find someone from Minnesota Workers United. We have these strike solidarity pledges, right? I want each and every one of you to fill one of these out, send it to us. There's a QR code you can scan. Because if we're going to win this fight, we're going to need what we already know that we've got, right? Which is boots on the ground. So say it with me. Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut the shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut the shit down! Thank you, everybody!
Thank you, Shane, and I'm looking forward to shutting down Big Brown with our Teamsters friends in August. The last person I'm going to bring up is a brother named Vinny with the Little Earth Protectors. They've held down this community during the fight here at the Roof Depot, during the uprising, and they've defended and kept the Southside community safe for years. So it's my pleasure to introduce Vinny.
Bonjour. Thank you. It's an honor to be standing here with all of you. I can feel the love. I can feel the strength. I can feel the determination. I just came up here to sing a song for you all today. This is the American Indian Movement National Anthem. And I guess I'm the last one, so I'm going to close out with this. Oh.
Everyone so much for coming. I just want to remind folks of a couple things. The fight here at the Roof Depot isn't over. Keep the pressure on the senators, keep the pressure on the reps. If you see anything from AIM or from the Little Earth Defenders or from the Climate Justice Committee, be sure to mobilize for that. I just want to thank everyone so much for coming out. Our struggles are intricately connected and can never be separated from one another. So take this spirit of solidarity with you as you go, and remember, when AIM, when CJC, when your unions, when abortion access is under attack, when we're facing another war, when we're facing down the killing of Palestinians, when we're facing down greedy bosses, show up for one another. Our movements are stronger together. And one thing I do want to mention, the impacted families of police violence are having an event on Thursday at the Governor's Mansion at 5 p.m. So please join those families to make their voices heard. And again, carry the spirit of solidarity with you. We're stronger together. We are stronger together. And never, ever, ever let the class reductionists tell you that workers' rights are the only thing that the workers' movement should care about. Police killings are a workers' issue. Immigrants' rights are a workers' issue. Abortion access is a workers' issue. Women's rights, trans rights, indigenous sovereignty, those are all workers' issues. Bring the spirit of fight and solidarity back to your workplaces, back to your movements. We will see you in a year. Thank you, everybody.
Maybe.
Go home! God damn it!
Watching right now, like, why is this?
Shades on or shades on?
Let's go for it. Let's tell us it's live, so you just gotta let them know.
Well, this is a union town. In the 1930s, there was the Teamsters Rebellion, and there were indigenous leaders in that rebellion. There were Ojibwe leaders like Hap Holstein or Ray Rainbow, who was a Dakota person. So it's not about it's not indigenous rights and workers' rights. They've always been part of the struggle. Indigenous people have always been part of the workers' struggle, and they've been leaders in that struggle. And so when we talk about the Roof Depot, when we talk environmental rights, all those things, those are quality of life issues. Working class struggles are about quality of life issues. It's not just about what happens in the union, because you don't just live at your job. It also is what happens in your community and the land you live on and you share, and the territories that who belong to, sovereign indigenous nations, right? We all have a role to play. And when we think of things like the Monroe Doctrine, which is we're on the 200-year anniversary of that has overthrown Latin American governments to the detriment of indigenous people who migrate here. It's our government who's causing not only internal displacement and migration with indigenous people, creating a precarious workforce internally, but it's also creating a precarious workforce that's migrating from other countries that is indigenous, that is brown. So we have to care. We care because we are political by default. No matter where we find ourselves, indigenous people, on the shop floor, in the community, here in the streets, we are defending our land and our sovereignty.
Who here wants to talk about May Day? Where are we? International Workers' Day. I'll find someone to give me some context. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. Let me
I just wanted to kind of bring that to you guys. But thank you so much for speaking to me too. I know I'm like, hey, talk to me. Talk about the needs. Yeah, time. Well, just like, yeah, why am I here? Anyways, mad respect to everybody. I'm going to take this down. We go to the corner here. As you can tell, there's an ongoing movement here in Minneapolis to stop the demolition of the roof depot. And there was a march today for May Day, International Workers' Day. We did a little closing there with Nick Estes of the Red Nation. Definitely go check them out as a podcast. Just their platform, really incredible work and conversations constantly. And also you can go to the Indian Collective, check out what we're going there. We also just Land Back for the People just came out, a podcast, and there's some grant opportunities as well. If you're following along, wondering what the grant opportunities, go to indiancollective.org. You can also see it on Twitter, Facebook. I want to say YouTube, but I don't know. Twitter, Facebook, probably LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but keep following us. We'll be out here, I think, on Thursday. It sounds like there's another press conference, and we have some other things we're trying to support and amplify. Again, follow Defend the Depot here in Minneapolis. EPNI as well, East Phillips Neighborhood Institute, who are part of this big movement to stop the demolition of this building. In case you missed it, it's over there, that one. There's the Roof Depot sign. Roof Depot sign, very famous. I don't know if it's true, but it feels like it. Anyways, I'm going to take this down now. I'm going to look at the chat, pretend I'm going to answer some questions. I'm so excited that you're here, that we were together in all of that. Woo! I was holding that camera for a long time. Again, my name is Lorenzo Sardana. I'm Chicana. I pronounce it they, them. And that's the truth, so that's why I told you that. And then, let me look at this chat here. Okay, I think I can do it right here. Look at the chat. Nothing. I'm not going to say who gave me nothing, but I thought it would be a chat right there. But it looks like they're not doing the back end. There we go. Nobody said anything. All right, great. Well, thanks for being here. We will check in later. Again, we'll be live, I think, Thursday again. Also, check out the... This is a lot of stuff going on in Rapid City as well. So we'll give you updates on that next Thursday. And yeah, let's keep following. I'm going to shut this in. I'm just babbling. But again, awesome. Great. I hope your day is awesome. Amazing. May Day, all day. International Workers Solidarity Day, Workers Day. And that was the march. Talk to you soon. Peace.